At this moment, Xiao and Xiao seemed to see hope, but Beiju coldly said, "Hey, there's nothing here, just run." The scene shifted and everyone was sleepwalking. Xiao suddenly covered Xiao's mouth, signaling be quiet, and the siblings quickly hid in the shelter. Xiao told Xiao, "That's not just noise, it's a signal from somewhere, guiding us. I've checked the broadcast location. I found the address. It's an island. If I follow the train tracks, I can get there in less than a day if it actually exists. Then our family won't have to be scared of monsters anymore." Xiao wanted to stop his sister, thinking it was too risky, but Xiao countered, "Even if we have to cross forests, we can't give up." Xiao thought, "If I could find other survivors and use the high-frequency signals from above to broadcast, we could fight against the monsters together." Maybe Xiao repeatedly urged his sister not to take risks, finally saying, "If you go, I'll tell Mom." Xiao patiently explained, "You don't understand, Dad would too." The scene shifted, and Xiao was awakened by a droplet, spotting the note left by his sister. Xiao secretly set off on her rescue journey, while Xiao beside her was going crazy, constantly praying to Beiju to find Xiao. "I've lost my husband and son, I can't lose her too." Beiju remained silent, thinking, "I can't actually watch my friend's daughter walk to her doom." Meanwhile, Xiao walked along the tracks, her feet bleeding, but she showed no sign of stopping. The surroundings were desolate, even the boats couldn't be bothered with her. Suddenly, a bizarre train appeared before her, with bodies sprawled everywhere. She slowly pushed open the cabin door, only to find it blocked by something. Xiao wanted to grab the medical kit from the wall, thinking, "I'll find Beiju right now. He must have a plan." However, it is important to note that the noise emitted could potentially attract an even greater number of monsters. So the two could only run quickly into the house to hide. Beiju told Xiao, "Let's hide here first. We'll go back once they've left." Xiao didn't listen. She started moving in a rush. Beiju gently cupped her face, telling her, "Calm down, take it slow." Beiju slowly spoke, "I want to take you home." He desperately tried to convince Xiao not to continue this madness, but she wasn't listening at all. "I have no home anymore." A few hours later, Xiao collapsed from exhaustion. When she woke up, she realized her hearing aid was missing. Beiju had also vanished, leaving Xiao in despair. She knelt on the ground, thinking Beiju had abandoned her, losing even her most precious hearing aid. However, the next moment, Beiju knelt down, gently stroking Xiao's head and returning her hearing aid. Meanwhile, Xiao sneaked out of the shelter and Xiao followed. Xiao patiently explained, "Beiju said he would be back soon. Your leg needs, otherwise you won't last long, and I can't lose you too." With that, she carried Xiao and headed off into the distance. Xiao arrived at the previous town, feeling immense pain seeing the place again, the shame of greed washing over her. She took off her ring and placed it on a wooden post, thinking, "Let's pretend Mom is always with me." Then Xiao returned to the previous mall, found better medicine than bandages, and even located an oxygen tank for the baby. Meanwhile, Xiao and Beiju arrived at a big bridge, looking into the distance, challenging the future. However, everything didn't look so peaceful. Just as Beiju approached a few boats, a shadow suddenly appeared behind her, startling her. She quickly raised her weapon, starting her patrol, when a seemingly harmless little girl walked up to her with a tender expression. Suddenly, the little girl threw a rope around Beiju's neck, revealing it was a trap. Moreover, many other people from the boats emerged, sizing up Xiao suspiciously. Things were not looking good. The scene shifted as Alton placed the child in a wooden box, quietly slipping out of the shelter, flashlight in hand, climbing to the second floor. She lifted the curtain, and the sight of a shriveled corpse startled her into drawing her gun, screaming. Her scream attracted the monster. Sensing calamity, she quickly ran back to the shelter. To keep an eye on the oxygen mask, she had to push the door and window open with all her strength. Xiao swiftly grasped the concept of the smoke sensor and came up with a clever plan. She discharged a shot upwards, promptly luring the monster out. Then, she released the oxygen tank with a loud bang that startled the monster away. Fortunately, beside the door there was an oxygen tank available for use. Xiao sat alongside Beiju on the boat, preparing to face the upcoming new challenge. Just then, the righteous Beiju signaled Xiao, then dashed up to overpower the enemy. Unexpectedly, the man dropped the lantern in his hand, making a loud noise that drew the monster's attention. The monster charged toward the ship, throwing others out with ruthless force like tossing chickens. Facing the approaching monster, Beiju unhesitatingly stabbed the man in the leg. The man yelped in pain, only to attract the monster's attention. Beiju jumped into the water to evade the monster, but to her surprise, the monster followed her. After a few moments, the monster flailed a bit, then slowly sank to the bottom. It seems it never learned to swim. Xiao reached out to pull Beiju onto the boat, and they finally arrived safely on the island. The island was peaceful and beautiful. Beiju sighed, thinking about his life. How long has it been since I've seen days like this? This is the paradise for humanity. Suddenly, he heard a mysterious sound behind him. Turning around, he saw a boat torn to shreds by a monster, making his heart race. Perhaps the monster had followed the ships to the island. He quickly ran to the lawn, trying to keep everyone from going inside, but it was too late. The monster attacked. Beiju frantically honked, warning to protect others. Too late. Enjoy. Subscribe.